What's up, everybody? We are back, and I am extremely excited about this tactics breakdown I'm about to provide for you because it will absolutely help you dominate the post-patch. But I am also extremely disappointed because the reason why the 5-back is a must again, and the reason why this will help you dominate the post-patch meta is because there is a ton of new bugs released. I'll explain all that as I'm explaining the formation, and then I will actually show you these new bugs that they unleash with this post-patch. Guys, UFL, we just can't get a break. Obviously, it's exacerbated by the amount of people that are just looking for these type of cheats, but I wish I could just find out, how do people discover these things, and how do they get entered in UFL? How do you not figure this out? Once again, it's going to ruin the game. It already has. I was on stream yesterday, and you can dominate teams all day, but there's a new glitched out cross that can't be stopped. There's a crazy new speed boost, unlimited, by the way. You won't need to use the amount of speed boost this gives you, put it that way. And another new, I think this is our first one actually, a new OP method to win the ball defensively now. There's a defensive bug. What the heck? 2 big patches. UFL, what are you doing? How this all got discovered on my part, I'm on a stream yesterday and we had a king of glitches in the chat that I literally dominate all the time. I actually ended up playing him on stream and just destroying him. Gameplay-wise, with all due respect, he wasn't a bad guy. He just admits, at least he can admit he is a glitch, a glitch god and not a real player. At least he can admit that. So I dominated him on stream. Luckily, I knew about all the glitches coming because he had just taught us all in the chat. He showed us all these terrible, toxic things that are now in the game post-patch. So at least I was aware, and it helped me just destroy him in game because I knew it was coming, and I want to prepare you guys the same. Now, the whole thing is this. When these are in the game, it's very hard not to use them as OP mechanics because we're all competitors. All right? In fighting, there's a referee there. Not because there needs to be a referee to stop the two between fighting each other. That's what they're meant to do, fight each other. Or even to enforce rules, because the two are taught to defend yourself at all times. Why the referee is in there in a fight, whether it's MMA or boxing or whatever combat sport, is to protect the fighters from themselves. Now let me explain how that correlates. In these competitive games, any type of competition game, if there are glitches or bugs, the player base can't be expected not to use them to win because they are in the game. That's where the development team has to act as the referees and get the bugs out. So there is no temptation, there is no using these to win, so it's purely skill. When there's no referee, so to speak, nobody there to take these bugs out, to protect the player base from themselves, right? Because in competition, maybe things aren't going your way. Okay, I'm going to go use this bug. Right? Maybe you're not winning the ball defensively. Okay, I'm going to use that new defensive bug to win the ball back. You need the development team to take these things out to create fair competition and to grow your game and show it as a great game. UFL is literally destroying themselves, it seems like, one patch at a time. And I'll be here to play for fun because I have a lot of supporters of this game, but with this kind of nonsense, it's not going to go anywhere. Without further ado, though, to combat these bugs for the time being, this is the formation, my first 2-striker formation that I will actually be using. And guess what? I have another news flash, guys. I've tested this time and time and time again. You see my formation there. I will be using this like this on my defensive side. I'm keeping my other 2 setups, but in the defensive side, this is the slot it will go into. Look at my 2 CMs on the outside. Okay? Guess what? They do not get a deduction. And if they do, it's not noticeable. So if you have a formation you want to use and the players don't quite line up, I've tested it and tested and tested it. It just shows the little markings, hoping that you won't use these players in any other formations. But I'm telling you, I could darn near use Mbappe at wingback, and it wouldn't make a difference. Now, his defensive stats would be very low. The tackling and all that would be bad. But there's no deductions. He would still be a sick finisher up top. He would still be. It's just he's in a different role. The only thing that this changes is that on screen it shows that little CM effect. There is no chemistry points or anything like FC. So you can play these players anywhere. Don't let this little red blabba dabba fool you. And I wish I would have realized that earlier. I just put it to the test because I was thinking, like, there is no chemistry or deductions, and they haven't explained anything. I think it's literally as far, they just, like, put a little marking, like, out of position. In game, there is no deduction. So this is how I'll be going out with the 5-3-2, and I'm going to show you how this is OP and why you need to use it in this post-patch to combat the glitches, bugs galore, whatever you want to call it. So let's get into it. Starting with our defensive style is going to go pressure after possession loss. Now, you can use the press on every touch or balance on this. Why I go pressure after possession loss is because I want to get the ball off my opponent quickly in this current meta. I don't want to fuss about, and pressure after possession loss will help me do that. With the new speed boost offensively that many players will be using, especially, you do not want to allow them to get going, because I'm telling you, if they have a little bit of space, they will zip through it. You won't even know what hit you. So pressure after possession loss for defensive style. Now with depth of defense, we're going with a balanced setting of 4, very close to the drop back setting. Now, the reason why we're going for this is because there's a glitch speed boost right now, and if you're too high up, the players will speed boost right by you. They'll be on goal before you even know it hits you. So you need to be back. Why I didn't go with drop back, though, is because they go way too far back, basically sitting on your 6-yard box, and so you're not even defending at that point. Players will just pass the ball around easily and get an open shot. Drop back is not the way to go. So you have to go to the closest thing to it, though, which is the balance setting of 4 to prevent that speed boost glitch from affecting you, right? Now, width of defense, it is the same exact thing. We have to protect ourselves from glitches. So we go with a balance setting of 5. Here's why. We have a glitch we have to protect from the speed boost, right? So we want to fill holes throughout the middle of the park so they can't just speed boost right through us. But we also have to protect from the glitch out wide, the glitch cross, which is now an L2 cross. We'll get into that in a little bit. So long story short, you got to protect yourself from both the center players speed boosting through gaps and getting a cross off from out wide, so you need that wing back close to the wing so they can close that down, right? So the best way to do it is just split it right down the middle with the width of 5. If there's only a glitch speed boost, we would go as narrow as possible to gap up those holes. If there's only a glitch cross, we would go as wide as possible to get those wingbacks out there as quick as possible to prevent the cross. Since there's both, you go with split right down the middle of 5, but guys, that's also where that 5 back comes in way better than a 4 back. So width of defense, the balance 5. Moving into the attacking style. Fast attack, you know I always go fast attack or long ball. Typically speaking, well, I think always, but for this, nonetheless, attacking style is fast attack. It gets the most players forward. It gets the most forward movement, and we want that. This can actually be sick in the attack despite having 3 CMs instead of cams or wingers. But the way Mbappe and Messi are set up, they will absolutely help dominate in the attack with Haaland and Ronaldo. And don't count out Camavinga. He'll have some sneaky runs in there for you. Trust me. So, attacking style, fast attack. Now, players in box, I could probably skip over this by now for the guys watching that have watched my videos in the past. But in case there's any newbies, we always go players in the box setting of 6. It's just what works for me. Simple as that. Tweak this, though. If you don't like 6, you can start with that just because it works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. If not, you can go up with it. You can go down with it. Find what works best for you. For me, it has always and will always be 6. And last but not least, we go with our width of attack. We are going all the way wide with it. Simple as this. The only thing this affects is your wingbacks. There is no wingers in this formation. And you want your wingbacks all the way wide in the attack, right? Because now that they patched up the wingbacks positioning, you don't have to put them on don't cross halfway line. Now you can put them on support the attack, and they will be a secret weapon for you. I'm telling you, you will make a lot of runs towards the inline to get crosses in or just to pull out the defense with your wingbacks in this 5-back setup. It is fantastic to have a 5-back because of that. Before, even with a 5-back, you had to be careful with your wingbacks because the positioning was all janky. Now, they patch it, those wingbacks in support the attack will be huge. We'll go over those roles in a bit, obviously, to set them up perfectly. But width of attack all the way up to 10. Now let's talk about these player roles. Very important as always. Goalkeeper, very simple as always. Just balance and passive. Why? We don't want them rushing out, doing goofy stuff, giving up goals that we otherwise wouldn't. So we just put them on balance and passive, and they work great. A little bonus side note, I'll tell you right now, cat play, the one with the cat paw, get that in ultra effect. Get a goalie that has that in ultra effect. If not, if you like your goalie without it, get that cat play when you get skill points to boost them. Get it on the high effect. I'm telling you, the cat play, the most important skill for a goalie to have right now. Now, both wingbacks are on this setting, so I will not show you the Udogi or the left back, right? Whoever your left back is. Both wingbacks are on. Attacking width, close to the sideline for the attack. Of course, I just talked about the width in the tactics side, close to the sideline. Attacking support the attack. Now that it's been patched up, that's huge. They will help you, especially in this 5-back. They will be a secret weapon on the wings. You will be making runs with them time and time again, in the attack. Some players more than others, but I promise you, use them. It will pay off. And the last two are pretty self-explanatory. Defensive style is hold your position. Pass interceptions, as always with all my players, is situational. But before moving on, I cannot stress this enough. Use your wingbacks in the attack, all right? Again, some will use them more than others, but they're a great way to provide width in this typically narrow attacking formation, all right? You're already going to have Mbappe and Messi cheating up because they're not really CMs, but then to have that width all the way to the sidelines, right, to where you can spread out in opposition, make sure you utilize your wingbacks in the attack, fellas and ladies. Thank you. The center backs are always a very easy one because we do not touch any settings. It's just like in FC. If you come from there, this should be a simple process. Leave it alone. They're perfectly good at don't cross halfway line, holding position and situational. Simple as that. You have 3 of them. Leave them alone. Now moving on to our wing CMs, which is important to decipher that in this. It wasn't previously the way I used 3 CMs, but it's very important because as you can see, I use mine as attackers. Now, you may not use yours as attackers. You may definitely have your 3 CMs like all the same setting, which would be like my Camavinga, my center CM. However, for me, for an attacking style of this, the most attacking, here's how I'm doing it. The wing CMs for me are essentially going to be extra, or like cams, right? They're just going to be starting deeper. So their settings for the wing CMs are going to be support the attack for attacking support, okay? Make yourself available for crosses in the box. Pass interceptions, like I said, always situational. What will this do? This will allow them to push up and help Haaland and Ronaldo, as well as the wingbacks too, and you will have a heck of a potent attack, right? Now, support the attack is not the highest, attacking setting for this. What would be attacking runs? The most defensive setup for this would be don't cross the halfway line, which is what I have Camavinga on. So they're kind of in the middle of there, but they're going to sit in there behind Haaland and Ronaldo. If you want them to make all-out runs, go to attacking runs. By all means, have fun with it if you want to. Why I'm going to support the attack? Because this will give them an opportunity to receive the ball and then choose. Are they going to make darting runs in, or are they going to receive it, just get into an area where they can hit some shots from outside the box? The low, hard shots are OP right now. The goalies still will save them because the goalies are ridiculous, but they are definitely more OP than finesse shots. However, you can still get some good finesse shots off. It's just the goalies save them a lot of times and at least tips them for corners. But right now, you can have the support the attack setting, get Mbappe or Messi the ball outside and hit that low-driven shot, find your perfect angle, or, hit them with a low-driven or two, and then bust through those gaps, and either find Haaland or Ronaldo or go in yourself. So I have my wing CMs on an attacking setting. You can use yours how you want to. You can use maybe 1 out of the 3 as attacking, or you can use all 3 as the most defensive setting like Camavinga's, which we'll go into now. And as you can see, don't cross halfway line for attacking support, which will allow Camavinga to sit back and be a defensive unit. He is incredible, by the way. If you don't have Camavinga, strongly suggest you think about getting him. Now, the next one, disclaimer. I am using something I typically wouldn't use. That is, make yourself available for crosses, right? Now, I'll go over that in a second, but pass interceptions is situational. Like always, it never changes. Usually what I would do, not only for Camavinga, but all three, I'd have them all on don't cross the halfway line, and crosses in the box, hold back, do not push up, okay? But because those wing CMs are so effective coming in from deep, like the way Mbappe and Messi are going to come in, it's going to be ridiculous, right? I want it more attacking all the way. So Camavinga is going to be thinking defense first, but when we have the ball in an attack, like in a crossing situation or where we could cross, doesn't mean you have to cross and he's just going to zip up there. But when we are in a situation to cross, you will see Camavinga darting in as well, and he can be an excellent outlet, right? He has amazing stamina. So instead of holding him all the way back, right, I have him as do not cross halfway line, so he'll be held back. But once we are in a very attacking situation already, you will see him swing up the field and become available, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to cross it either. He could swing in, become available, and then we work it in. But that is one setting that you may want, even if you have your two wing CMs attacking like me, which it will be extremely powerful. Now, you won't have as much support right off the bat defensively, right? It's going to be harder to pull like Mbappe and Messi all the way back like you typically would if you had all three CMs on that defensive side. So you can easily have three CMs in the more traditional setting of do not cross halfway line and hold back on crosses, right? For me, since I'm going for the two attackers on the wing, you could even do just one if you wanted. One attacking style wing CM, and then the other two hold all the way back. That can absolutely work. But for me, not only am I going with the two wing CMs attacking for the central CM, I'm also pushing Camavinga up when we have the ball in the most attacking setup to be available for crosses. So all that will mean is now I'll have an extra option in the attack when I'm down in the danger zone. Okay? So moving up to the two strikers. Now first, let's make fun of UFL for calling these strikers wingers. As you can see on the left, why they have them labeled as wingers, who knows? They're clearly strikers. Now, unlike the wide CMs and the wide backs, these two have different settings. Now, the one thing I want to point out, you don't have to have the same settings as me on the right and then the same as the left. You can use the settings I have on the right side on your left striker, and same vice versa. It doesn't matter. I just like having them jagged. You can also have the same settings on both of them. Preferably not this one, the short one. I would do if you do both of them. Do the long one I have on Holland. I'll show you that shortly. But for me, I go one coming short. As you can see, it's mine CR7, right? His attacking style is short pass. Defensive support is still stay up front. And of course, pass interceptions is still situational. So the only difference here, attacking style, short pass. He will be coming short to receive the ball. But remember, I can still trigger him going forward on runs, and I will be doing that sometimes. So it's important to trigger them, but it's also important to have them coming short, and I'll talk about that here shortly. But let's check out Holland's setting. And as you can see, a huge difference, but it's only one little thing here, and that is attacking style is attacking runs. Defensive support is stay up front. Pass interceptions are situational. So he will be your striker that's creating space, that's running in behind, right? Now, for me, obviously, Holland has the speed, so he's the one who's going to be stretching the defense. Ronaldo, he's a little better dribbling, also very good at those long, low-driven shots. Right now, he has an ultra effect, so he will be coming short, receiving the ball, and possibly just turning and striking, or turning and playing a little bit with Holland to create the chance. Maybe just turning and sitting Holland through because they're just worried about him hitting shots. It just creates this dynamic push and pull between the two, this little jagged setup, which is why I like the stack setup, right? I'm still using my setup where my 4-2-3-1 narrow, I finally have Ronaldo where he got the cam point. So I have him 4-2-3-1 narrow, or if you use, the 4-4-1-1, right, with two strikers stacked, this is kind of emulates that a bit. It's not quite the same as Ronaldo's, not as far back or like directly behind Holland, okay, like he is in the 4-2-3-1 narrow, or even the 4-2-3-1 wide, or the 4-4-1-1, okay? In this, he's a little more, they're next to each other still, but it's jagged now. Holland's foot pushed further up, Ronaldo's coming, always coming too, okay? Then you can always trigger him from there. Like, say he comes to, but you don't see a reason for a short pass, now you trigger him, right? But you still are going to be able to pull those defenders in with Ronaldo, while Holland forces them to chase him and go deep with him. right? So it's this push and pull setup. Always found that two strikers work the best in that situation. If you want, you can have them both on stay up front and attacking runs. So they'll both be always looking to stretch the defense. I'm not saying that can't be effective. For you, maybe it works better. I don't like it. I think it's too predictable, right? So this is my setup. Doesn't matter which side. Essentially, you have one under short pass and one under attacking runs. That's just how I do it. Now, moving on to these crazy glitches, there's even more after that second patch. This one right here, you're getting ready to see Van Dijk do some craziness. You do this by holding down L1 simultaneously with R2, right, to speed the regular sprint button, and you get this crazy quote-unquote bug speed boost. But it's not even a speed boost. As you can see, it's just a crazy increase in speed, and you can hold L1 and R2 and literally just zip through from one end of the field to the other if you want, as you'll see in this next example as well. You can zip around all over, and it's just a sustained increase in speed. And the problem is defenders are not programmed to defend this, okay? So what's going to happen is a player's going to get the ball. They're going to see a gap, right? Instead of typically doing like your double tap R1 or a knock on or whatever the case is, they're just going to be able to L1, R2 and just zip through these holes, which is why it was so important to show you guys this 5-back and make sure you guys know you got to watch the crazy cross that I'm about to show you. But you also got to cover your gaps in the middle because this insane speed boost will allow players like Van Dijk to do that. Think about players like Mbappe, right? It's just unfortunate, but it's in the game right now, so you have to prepare for it. And I at least want to let you guys know what's coming at you. And if you have seen it already, now you can now it explains it. If you're wondering, like, man, he seemed way faster than normal, that's because he has been. This is not supposed to be in the game. Defenders don't know how to react to it, so you just got to kind of cope the best way you can and hope they nerf it soon. Speaking of ridiculous, what the defenders and the goalkeeper do on this here, a dreaded bug cross again. This time it's the L2 square. Basically just like the lob cross, the defenders and goalie just don't do nothing, but it's even worse. You hold L2 square and it gives you this kind of lower cross, but the defenders and goalie they bug out when it comes, and you have things like this. That's many times how it will be now. Instead of a header, Holland or whoever will chest it down and score a volley every time, just because you can't defend it, right? Your defenders and goalkeeper will go haywire. So I showed you a few other examples that weren't as good. You see the perfect setup for it, though, is that you're square to the player. So if you let your opponent in that position, be ready to get scored on. Try to do anything you can to get your wing back out there. This is why we're in the 5-back, guys, so you can run out there like a bat out of you-know-what and close down that winger. Do not let him especially get square, because that is what will happen. Whoever it goes to, your defenders won't touch him. He'll be able to chest it and bury it. It's not a skill. It's a bug. You could try to front it as much as you want defensively. Every once in a blue moon, it's like they'll get it, kind of like, the other glitches. But a vast majority of the time, the player intended to get the ball will get it. They'll chest it, and they'll score a volley. So you saw the first two. They weren't the perfect settings. And even though the intended receiver of the ball, of the L2 cross, got it, he wasn't quite in the best position to score. So if you can rush that winger, you will better your chances of not getting scored on. You just can't give him space and time to set up, square up perfectly, and send that ball into the center, okay? Now, having gone through all that, am I happy? No, absolutely not. 2 big patches, even more glitches now. It just takes away all the excitement for the game, the competitiveness. I told you guys I'm always going to be upfront with you. For now, UFL is just going to be my for fun game, and I'm doing that strictly out of the love for my followers, the people in chat that I've learned to get to know and that I truly respect and like and can tell are great people, great ambassadors of this game. And it's just unfortunate the developers can't seem to figure it out yet. Still, we'll stay hopeful, but I just have to be honest. I'm streaming both, providing content for both EAFC and UFL, and as for now, the competitive part of my gaming will be at EAFC, but I'm no doubt going to still play UFL, and when I play something, I compete to win, and I will be sharing with you. I have no doubt that the 5-3-2 is the way to go to combat this and to be successful still. I'll be showcasing that, right, as well as showcasing that I can still run the game here at UFL easily, right? It ain't no problem, and I want to bring you guys along with me. It's all there is to it. Shoot, I want you guys to surpass me. Many of you already have. There's some ballers in our community, without a doubt. So that's just where the game stands. That's where I stand with this game in EAFC. I always want to be transparent with you. But we will go out. We will take this setup or any other setup you guys use and battle these glitches. We will have fun through this without a doubt. I will continue to provide content for both games. Maybe even if you don't play EAFC or you refuse to or whatever the case, you could still jump on and check it out. It's a great game to watch if you're anything like me with watching streams and stuff. So, but if not, then you stick to the content, one or the other that you like, right? I'll be streaming both, releasing videos for both. And nonetheless, I don't care if you watch one video ever, comment one time ever, join one chat ever. I just appreciate you, no matter what, for taking your time to show any kind of engagement or support for me. I truly am grateful. I couldn't have imagined so many, not only just people in general following along, but so many great people that I've got the chance to meet since I started streaming, just through chat when I say meet, but you can tell a lot through how people conduct themselves online, and you guys are amazing. I know that there's been some getting into the trenches, some getting my hands dirty, which easily creates this kind of negative, surrounding atmosphere, but it's needed at times, right? Especially when the game is where it is and it needs, help to be pushed in the right direction. The only way to get there, as history shows, is to speak up, and sometimes you're going to piss people off. You're going to have to be negative. But I see that I have very knowledgeable people as part of my community that see kind of when I'm releasing the videos that I've been releasing the past few days and stuff, what the purpose is behind that. And I appreciate that too. So no matter what, I'm going to continue to be honest and open. I'm going to continue to do the right thing for pushing any football game that I'm a part of, in the right direction. Not just for me, but for the entire player base, all the football gaming fans. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for any type of engagement or support you provide. Keep grinding, keep having fun, and until next time, we will see you later.